Now, one thing to be aware of in regards to tap water, particularly Sydney tap water, is that chlorine, chloromones and various things are run to a maximum minimum level, which means you can do a water change on your aquarium or clean out your filter with tap water, and one day it's totally fine, nothing bad seems to happen. Then another day you can do exactly the same thing and all of a sudden wipe out all your bacteria and wipe out all your fish and everything dies. Also, topping up ponds, you can leave the hose on in your pond, overflood your pond, and it'd be totally fine one day and kill all your fish the next day. And the reason why that is because in the early 80s and 90s they used to run chlorine, chloromine and various things to kill bugs in our tap water, and over time they found that the microorganisms started getting used to the chlorine and chloromine, so they had to start slowly putting the levels up and up and up and up and up. Then they found it was more efficient to not run chlorine and chloromine in the tap water all the time, but every now and then they'll run a burst of it through. And I have been told this by a friend of mine that works for Sydney Water, and he says one of his jobs is testing pathogen counts and the chlorine and chloromine in various outstations away from the processing plants and the water source. So if he finds the presence of any pathogens and so forth, he'll order a larger amount of chlorine to go into the water, and he will test what the chlorine levels are and help to advise and monitor how much chlorine needs to go into the system to be irregular enough for the bugs to not get used to the chlorine and chloromine, but be effective enough to kill them when it actually goes in. So anyway, if you know any more about this and you can add any more to it, then by all means do. But the moral of the story is here, use Water Ager, because you never know when they are about to dump another lot in, and you might catch that lot just after it's been dumped, and you might lose your fish and coral or your or whatever. Then you can do it again later and have no problem. So that is the reason why it is very inconsistent to whether you have problems with large amounts of tap water and then other times you don't have problems.